the springboard is value. Okay. Let's say, I always use this example. Let's say I go to the store, I play basketball. So I go to the store, I'm gonna get some new Kobe's, and they say it's $100. And I say, cool. If they would have said it's $1,000 for the shoes, I'm like, it's not worth that much.
Like, fam, he not even paying for what? I'm paying $1,000 for some Kobe's. Like,
right.
Tired, dog. Like,
so, so as a purchaser, I am one half of the people that gets to determine or help determine the rate at which a product should be sold. Okay. Mm-hmm. We all are doing this. We just had Black Friday, right? Mm-hmm. So only two people can determine the value of a product, either the creator of that product or the purchaser of the product. Okay. Mm-hmm. So why is this important? Because only in a Christian worldview are the purchaser and the creator the same person. Mm-hmm. We've been redeemed. We've been bought back at a price by who? By our creator, which also means that only in a Christian worldview can we even begin to talk about such things as intrinsic human value, inherent self-worth. That means not self-referencing. Mm-hmm. That means reference from a transcendent source. Because here's the thing. In order for human value to be objective, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. it has to be given by something outside of humans. That would mean there has to be something or someone who transcends humanity. Nothing gives value to itself. I know we got a lot of self-important people in the world, but that's not how value works. Even the money in your pocket right now, I don't care if it has a 5 on it or 100. It's just a piece of paper until the government gives it value. Right. Value can never be self-ascribed. It must always be ascribed from an external source. Mm. The only external source viable or in a position, an objective position, to impute humans with value has to be God. If you remove God from that equation, then none of us has objective value. We have the value as much as we choose to give ourselves or as much as we choose to give other people. That may be pragmatically viable, but it's not objectively true. But the thing about it is everyone believes we have objective value. Mm-hmm. Even when people take life, they do so understanding that they have to hide it because they're doing something they know that is inherently wrong. Mm-hmm. And so this is where sometimes atheists will veer that, well, I don't know God, but I know right from I believe you. And the Bible believes you too. Romans chapter 2, 14 and 15 says the moral law is written on each of our hearts. God didn't leave it up to chance. So you can not know God and still know that murder is wrong. Let's go back even further. When Cain killed Abel, there was no law yet. It was still wrong to kill Abel. So for Christians, let's not make it where you need to know God so that you can be a better, more moral person. You should be better, but that's not really, I think, the best interest point with the argument. Mm-hmm. Nor is it completely accurate with what we're trying to say. Because there's a lot of atheists who are good people who do good things. Right. The point is this. It's not that you have to know God to be good. It's that such a thing as good cannot exist if such a person as God does not exist. That's mm-hmm. the issue. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The thing that we talk about or classify as quote unquote good can't be an actual thing if there is no actual God. So I was writing something. I don't know if people on here are familiar with Euthyphro's dilemma. Sure, yeah. It's a false dilemma, but it basically goes like this. And Plato was kind of writing this about Socrates, his mentor, or with reference to him. So Euthyphro's dilemma is something good because God wills it, or does God will it because it's good? So if something is good because God wills it, then good becomes arbitrary. It's just whatever God wants to do, he just calls it good, but it might actually be bad. Okay. Or does God will it because it's good? Then that puts God in the subordinate position. I mean, that makes good supersede God, which means God becomes almost, non-essential. Yeah. But it's a false dilemma, right? There's a trilemma, and the trilemma part is usually left out. And Dr. William Lane Craig does a great job explaining this as well. The third option that was not included by Plato is God wills it because he is good. Mm-hmm. See, there has to be a foundation or a source in which to root goodness. And then once again, if we remove God from the equation, you're free to do that. But then you have to have something else better than God to put there. So back to the beginning, without value, which must always be ascribed externally, then life has no meaning. If Richard Dawkins is right, and we're just dancing to the tune of our DNA, right, what value is there in that? Like, we're just random sets of molecules, and okay, great. Then we have no more value than a tree. Mm-hmm. You can't get there. But if there's no value, then life has no meaning. Mm-hmm. And once you come to the conclusion life has no meaning, you live a hopeless life.
Man,